I think there's a pretty universal concept that often people find talking about things that have had an impact on them to be particularly challenging. I've rewritten, re-recorded, re-edited this video probably around 6 times at this point, and the only reason it's even seen the light of day is because of how far I was into the process of making it that I was stubborn and dogmatic enough to finish it when it's been over a month, especially considering how many projects I've shelved just to make this one particular video perfect. I originally had a skit somewhere about making something generic for reaching 100 subscribers, and how I really enjoyed seeing all of the positive responses to the Monogatari video, considering that too was a pain to write. But now we're over 17 subscribers past that, and a month past the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, of which I was considering doing a video on originally, so I think it might be clear just how much I want to see this particular video completed. Naruto is an undeniably important series. Even 9 years after the ending of the anime in which most people were originally acquainted with it, it still holds up as one that appears on many people's favourites lists, or they mention it being one of their first anime. As much as people get the meaning of the Big Three confused, Naruto is an important pillar of anime history, particularly when discussing anime's popularity in the West. I too, unsurprisingly, have a story with Naruto, perhaps one as complex and twisting as Kishimoto's story itself. Naruto means something to me as it does to other people, but perhaps not in the way that one exactly might expect. This is the tale, if you'll allow me to take the word out of Jiraiya's playbook, of how I became a fake fan of Naruto. Okay, I've got to come clean. I've never seen Naruto. Yet whenever someone approaches me and starts a conversation about anime, the topic somehow always turns to Naruto, and whenever they ask for some reason, I just say I've seen it, and I've got no idea why. But through all of these experiences, I've gradually become better and better at faking that I've seen Naruto. You might think that this is a useless skill, but I kid you not, I actually used it yesterday. I was with some people I'd never really talked to before, and somehow the conversation turned to Naruto, and I made the grave mistake of agreeing to take a Naruto quiz. Me against 2 huge Naruto fans, one of whom had even read the Boruto manga. Boruto. I'd expected to come dead last and have to make some excuse about how I'd seen it years ago or something. To my surprise, I won. Now there are 3 conclusions that I could possibly draw from this. I either have the look of a gambling anime protagonist, those 2 were also fakers, or I've just absorbed so much Naruto knowledge over time, I've basically become a fan. Now, I don't hate Naruto or anything like that. I've watched 47 episodes of it, so I guess I'm not the fakest of fans, but whether I'll ever end up actually watching any more is up for debate. You see, my special skill comes with a huge downside. I know about 85% of Naruto's main plot, character deaths, plot twists, powers, you name it. So at this point, I don't even really want to watch it anymore despite knowing that I'd probably end up enjoying it. However, my first experience with Naruto came much earlier than that, when I was in year 8, which I think is maybe 9th grade for Americans, basically when I was 12 or 13. What happened was I'd read 2 volumes of Dragon Ball Z that I'd been given as a gift, and had the smallest of Weeb phases consisting of 1 more volume of Dragon Ball Z, and my class reading obsession. Naruto. You see, like many other schools, we had an independent reading time, and whilst usually your boy was reading some of that highbrow fiction, being British I could only enjoy the finest classics like Shakespeare or War and Peace. However, one day I'd seen Naruto on the shelf of the library where we read, so I took it out on a whim and started reading. I was hooked. I remembered that you read manga differently to a normal comic or book, something that immediately made me think I was some form of cultural genius. I remember fondly that time, and have very vivid memories that the volume I had taken out was volume 2, because they didn't have volume 1. So there I was in class reading time, reading Naruto volume 2, attempting to figure out what the hell a chakra was, and despite that, its world engaged me almost immediately. I was really young, new to shonen, and Naruto at the time was this really cool thing I had discovered seemingly on accident. They used to make us read out to a teacher in those lessons for whatever reason, so I had to think of a foolproof plan so I wasn't caught reading this new thing I'd discovered, which consisted of swapping Naruto out for some random book I had in that bag I'd prepared before the lesson. This continued for a while. I still have no idea where I managed to get to, but I remember reading odd volumes I'd managed to find for a little while, and my last memory of it was the first time Naruto uses Rasengan, which I just looked up is over 90 episodes in. I wouldn't get into anime until years later, and even now I still haven't caught up to where I was in that strange experience. Reading Naruto and DBZ made an impact on my preteens that I won't be forgetting anytime soon, and it definitely weirds people out when I mention reading Naruto much before I even knew what anime really was. The Naruto manga is one I'll look upon with rose-tinted lenses for quite a while to come, that is for sure, and even if I lack the commitment to finish the anime, making me the biggest hypocrite of all time, I still have an undeniable soft spot for it. So yes, there you go, I've shared one of my deepest secrets as an anime fan, one of the many reasons in which I chose this username to begin with, despite now being almost 36 days into anime watch time. Kishimoto's story about a young optimistic kid who's an outsider among his own people, striving and achieving greatness, is a heartwarming narrative that spanned into an expansive tale of complex powers, controversial spin-offs and sequels, and an undeniable significance. Regardless of your thoughts on Naruto, it's affected many people in different ways. Some love it to death, others found a whole new medium through it, and some even read it during class reading. Naruto might not be my favourite anime or manga, or the one with the biggest impact to me, but despite that, I think I'll always remember it fondly as one of the first I experienced, and that experience is something I am truly grateful for.